Debunking Biggest Misconceptions and Misinformation About Zhongli. 1. Morax visited Liyue by shapeshifting is described in Rex Incognito fantasy novel.
Impression on you? Oh, so you've read it too. The author does not lack for ideas. Sometimes they move in strange directions, and even I cannot claim to fully understand their meaning. But it makes for fresh and interesting reading material. A lot like reading somebody else's biography.
This confirms that the Rex Incognito fantasy novel is historically inaccurate. Obviously, it's a fantasy novel.
It is true that the Geo-Archon Morax would journey in the mortal realm from time to time. But there was not quite so much ostentatious shape-shifting as the books would have you believe. When the goal is to wander the streets undetected, donning an overly elaborate disguise is somewhat self-defeating.
This shows that Rex Lapis didn't shapeshift as described in the books.
Such discrepancies illustrate the difference between history as it happened and folk accounts based on hearsay. The value of reading accounts penned by others is in the chance to view the world through their eyes. It is very often an unfamiliar sight, though never an uninteresting one.
This suggests that books like these are made from some false illogical rumors. Also, Rex Lapis is only shown in one human form with just different clothing. That said, he probably put on some glasses and normal clothes to visit Liyue. Also, there is this scene about the rite of parting.
Something like the dusk mist, and it's a favorite of mature ladies. Oh, what was that? That's the one older ladies like, right? Does that mean that Rex Lapis is actually an older lady?
Perhaps. Rex Lapis has taken on countless forms. Perhaps that really was one of them.
This scene was when Paimon did not know that Zhongli is Rex Lapis, so she asks the MC if Rex Lapis is a mature lady. Zhongli then jokingly says Rex Lapis has taken on countless forms, perhaps that really was one of them, referencing the Rex Incognito fantasy novel. And Inger gave Ether the overview of the perfumes, thinking he is gonna use the perfumes on himself for a date. When actually all three scents, glazed lilies, cleansing bell, etc. are just things related to the people who shared the memory. 2. Zhongli cannot make mora without the gnosis.
The mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating mora requires the use of the Geo-Archon's power.
What he means here is creating mora for the Golden House requires the Geo-Archon's powers, and Geo-Archon is dead.
Nothing will stop me from rendering judgment on each of the 7. As the Archon who won the authority of Geo, Deus Ori must be called to trial.
In novelettes about Geo-Archon voice line, he calls Zhongli as Deus Ori, which means God of Gold.
You're right. I do like the mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do.
This proves that he does not need the gnosis to make mora. He can make mora whenever he wants, but he chose to abide by the mortal rules. 3. Rex Lapis created Azhdaha.
At festival times, the storyteller will always select a few new passages that complement the spirit of the season. Most are variations on existing legends or accounts from folk history. Their historicity is questionable at times, but it is their entertainment value that makes them an excellent choice for the festive period.
This proves that the stories told by the storyteller are false. The cutscene with only Zhongli speaking.
Most of the ancient geo-life forms that live below Liyue are blind, having not seen the sunlight for an age. That's how Azhdaha was. I answered his wish and took him above ground. I bestowed him with a pair of eyes to see the world and came to an agreement with him. I agreed to let him live among the people above ground, but if the day ever came when he brought ruin to order, he would once again be sealed in the dark.
And this is when Azhdaha thanks Zhongli for the eyes.
I never did forget your gift of sight.
I hardly lifted a finger. Think nothing of it.
And yet, you could see. You wouldn't know the yearning of a blind dragon, searching for the sun. A pair of eyes, from Morax to Azhdaha. This, I will remember this.
This confirms that Rex Lapis didn't create Azhdaha and just gifted him the eyes. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more story-related content, hit the like button and subscribe.